Did you know that the map that pilots use is actually identical to the flat earth map? This is it right here, and it has Antarctica going around us in a circle. And this is actually in the Bible, when he set a compass upon the face of the depth. A compass means a circular boundary in biblical terms, and the depth is the ocean. So when he set a boundary upon the face of the ocean, when he gave to the sea his decree that the waters would not pass his commandment. Right, so God set a circular boundary upon the face of the ocean. And by the way, face in geometry is something that's flat. So God set this circular boundary to keep the waters from passing his commandment. This map is also used by the United Nations. This is the flat earth map. They have to put this stuff directly in your face. And I'm sure many of you have wondered, why do pilots take such random trips that go completely off course? It's because it doesn't make sense on a globe. If we look at that same path on the flat earth model, it's a straight line. Alright, and you can observe this with literally hundreds of thousands of flights. We live under God's firmament glass dome. And the sun, including the moon and stars, is all inside of that firmament, rotating right above us in the atmosphere. Well, first off, we know in Genesis 1, God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so. This firmament is actually a molten glass, according to multiple places in the Bible. Job 37:18, hast thou with him spread out the sky, which is strong and as a molten looking glass. And then we know in Revelation it talks about a sea of glass mingled with fire that was actually being stood on. Now check this out. In Isaiah 40 verse 22 it says, it is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth, and the inhabitants thereof are as grasshoppers, that stretcheth out the heavens as a curtain, and spreadeth them out as a tent to dwell in. Right, so the earth is a circle, not a sphere, and we are in here like grasshoppers under a tent to dwell in. The firmament. And we know we're not revolving around the sun. The sun is actually the one circling around our atmosphere inside the firmament. If we just look at Psalm 19 verses 4, hath he set a tabernacle for the sun. So tabernacle, the Greek word is ohel, and it means a tent or a nomad's tent, right? A covering, a dwelling place, a tent. So God literally set a tent for the sun. Here it is inside of the tent. The tent is the firmament. And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, that's the sun, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. And God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. Right? The firmament is the tent. Now look what it says here in Job 37:21. And now men see not the bright light, it's talking about the sun, which is in the clouds. So the sun is literally in the clouds, in our atmosphere. And people have literally taken photographs where you can see clouds in front of the sun, and then you can see clouds behind the sun. And people have been using these high zoom cameras to do this all the time. Look at that. The sun is literally in the clouds. It's here, local, in our atmosphere. Guys, the earth is flat, it's stationary, it is immovable. We're not living on a flying, spinning water ball. Satan has completely taken God's creation and twisted it, and programmed everyone to believe something that is not true, which has caused many people to fall away from the truth that is in God's word.
Let me get this straight. They expect us to believe that the Earth is spinning at 1,000 miles per hour, while the whole galaxy is spinning at 448,000 miles an hour? Then they want us to believe the night sky should look like this? Come on, mate. It'd look like this on your bloody silly globe. You'd be that physically sick at the sight, you'll be spewing up, hanging on for grim death like a bloody ride at the carnival. Give me a break, mate. Earth's stationary. Wake up.
Flight map check. Who's ready? Okay, so I saw my friend Sal do this, but apparently not many people have seen it, so let's try it again. We want to go from New Zealand to Argentina, which is right about here, and it's a direct path. Can definitely make it in one shot. So let's see what Google Flights has to say. Auckland to Argentina. Just making up a date here. Explore. Okay, now we're going to select Buenos Aires. Let's go ahead and select the first flight. Here are our options. Okay, so on United we have Auckland going to San Francisco to Houston, finally into Buenos Aires. But why? That seems like a waste of gas to go from Auckland all the way to San Francisco, over to Texas, and then all the way down to Argentina. Okay, now hear me out. Let's see what the flat earth model depicts. You just have to see this for yourself. Look at this. So this is New Zealand. Aha, San Francisco, Houston, down to Argentina. You would not be able to make it on one tank of gas. Makes sense now. Flight map check, part 2. Okay, so let's get into it. We have queued up Google Flights, we have our Gleason's Flat Earth map, and then we have our Google Maps. We're going to be going from Australia over to Spain. So starting with Google Flights, we popped in Sydney, Barcelona, and let's pick a date. Let's just pick any random date here. We like to party, so let's go on the 29th. We'll go for New Year's weekend. Done. And hit search. Okay, so this is what it pulls up right off the bat. And for everyone that was saying, oh, you're not picking the nonstop flights, it's not really about it going nonstop or not. I didn't know if you guys knew that, but it's more about the route of why they chose it. But let's see if this flight offers nonstop. It does not offer nonstop, so we can rule that out. Okay, let's see what options they do have. One stop is kind of boring. Let's go down to 2 stops. All right, let's try this one, the second one. It's gonna go to Auckland to JFK to Spain. So let's see what it looks like on the map. Okay, so it's gonna take off from Sydney. Here we are, somewhere right here. It's gonna go to Auckland, and then it'll fly across the Pacific, probably arc to JFK, and then from JFK to España, aquí. Again, it could go from here to any country in South America and then over. But it chooses to go down to here and then up and over to JFK. I think I like this route better, on to Spain. So let's see what the Flat Earth map has to say. All right, you guys are familiar with this route. So we're leaving Sydney. We're going to go to Auckland, New Zealand. And look what's on the way, JFK. So it would be going out of its way to go to South America. That's why it doesn't go there. So again, it's Australia, New Zealand, lines up with Spain, JFK, and comes around. But on a regular map, it looks like it's going out of its way. Doesn't it? Or is it just me? I'm just saying. Oh, I forgot. Before we go, to the person who asked me, show me where Antarctica is on the Gleason's map. Well, do you see all these little jagged marks right here? Let's zoom in because I don't want anyone to say I did something. You see all that? That's the ice wall, aka what they believe is Antarctica. All right. This is also why when you go south from any country, you will reach the ice wall. And look what Google Maps shows for it. Why would Antarctica be this big? Look what Google Flights shows for it. I didn't want to do that. Lucy, you got some explaining to do.
Are the prophets that wrote the Bible right about the cosmology? Are biblical scholars holding an unfair bias when they say that the book does not talk about the geocentric topographical plane? You'll hear a lot of people say the Bible's not a science book. But I beg to differ. It is very scientifically accurate. Think about Deuteronomy 22:11. Thou shalt not wear a garment of diverse sorts, as of wool and linen together. A lot of people would say that this makes no sense, and it is just some type of unreasonable rule. What if I were to tell you that there's science behind it? Yes, our bodies resonate at 100 megahertz. And if you wear wool by itself, that's raising it by 5,000 megahertz. If you wear linen by itself, you're raising it by 5,000 megahertz. But what happens when you mix those two together? Well, they cancel each other out, putting that megahertz at 0. So in this world that we live in, it's all about frequency. And if we find out just how literal the Bible was, what if we could live a lot longer, just like the people back in the Bible days? They lived for hundreds of years. Maybe it's because they promoted a healthy lifestyle and harnessed all the frequencies that God has placed in this model. Now, is this why plain wool t-shirts are so dang expensive? So were the prophets that heard from the Almighty right about the cosmology, about the frequency, and everything else? I encourage you to pause and read this discussion that I had with ChatGPT. It's artificial intelligence. And it's actually really interesting how it traps itself time and time again in logical fallacy. Although it does admit several times that, yes, the Bible was written by geocentrists. And that's just the belief system back then. But also tries to still kind of ride the narrative and say, hey, just because everyone back then who wrote the Bible believed in a geocentric, non-rotating earth doesn't mean that you have to. You know, we've got technical advancements since then. But the only problem with that is the technical advancements, so to speak, have been designed by anti-God propagandists. So go ahead and read this discussion. You'll see that by the end of it, AI actually admits that geocentrism actually matches our observations more accurately than the heliocentric model, and especially when it comes to long-distance observations, which I found to be super interesting. ChatGPT admitting flat Earth once again. I believe that finding out where we are is just the tip of the iceberg.
Now this one will really make you scratch your head. Now they're saying that the moon is 238,000 miles away. They're also saying that Mars is 140 million miles away. And yet we have a Mars rover on Mars giving us live feed, videos, and pictures. But if you guys forgot, Mars is also spinning around the sun like we are. So get this, guys. We can get to this, which is 140 million miles away, but simply can't go back to this. That's only 0.2 million miles away. Oh, that's right. NASA and their astronauts saying that we can't get back to the moon because we lost the technology. But yet, we can get to this, let me remind you, which is 140 million miles away. And it just keeps getting worse and worse. They're also saying that the moon is tidally locked to the Earth, so we will never get to see the other side of the moon. But it doesn't make sense because the theory of gravity they use. Let's just say what they're saying is true. The moon is a dusty rock in outer space and you can physically land on it. Then why can't we land a device on it and we could all watch Earth spin? Because it is the same face we see every single day and every single night. And they're saying that we will never get to see the other side of the moon. But it would only make sense that we could land something on it and see the Earth spin. That's just something I've been thinking about. It's super crazy of them to say we can get to this, which is 140 million miles away, that has a Mars rover on Mars giving us live feed, videos, and pictures, but simply can't get back to this. If you ask me, Mars might be a lot closer than we might think. Come on, guys. And like always, God bless.
Do you still think we went to space? I don't. In fact, I know we didn't, because there's a firmament above and we can't go. Organizations like NASA and SpaceX, their only job, well, maybe they've got some others, but their biggest job is to fool you into thinking that space travel is possible and that the stars and the planets are light years away or millions of miles away. And if you still are of the belief we went to space, stick around. This video is for you. So in 1973 and 74, Skylab was NASA's first space station. And supposedly they sent some astronauts up to space to do some important science experiments. Now, I would like you to watch this and just allow your brain to see the stuff that they feed you as reality. They want you to like literally watch this and think it's really happening. So check it out. Let it unwind. All right, first I'll explain what's going on. These are 3 astronauts supposedly in that Skylab. This is a barbell, and supposedly these are 500-pound weights because, you know, in space, there's no weight, everything's weightless. And they're going to show you how something that is 1,000 pounds can look weightless. Now, I find this hilarious as the fittest flat earther. This is just perfect for me. But if you watch this and you think it's real, there's literally no hope for you. Like, I'm telling you, I'm looking at you at the eye, and I'm telling you, you will never figure it out that you're being lied to. So let's watch.
The continuation of their mission was welcome news to the Skylab astronauts who had become accustomed to their weightless environment. Work assignments were conducted with ease. The astronauts found they had extra time and requested flight planners to develop additional useful tasks for them to perform.
There are people that believe this.
So now
Please
to
don't
the
be one of them.
down. Just look at this. So he's got his pals holding this 450 kilogram weight here. He's like, ready? For NASA, I can do this. You got this. You got this. Yes. Hang on a minute.
So we can't even wait. I have to show you guys this flat Earth map. We can't even wait to show you guys. Now the roof, the 4 centers. That's the center of the Earth. Flat Earth. That's what our compass points at. There it is. Even in the Bible, it says there's 4 rivers that come from the center of the Earth. That's it. That's the center. Yeah. Look, there's Greenland. Greenland. Look at all these hidden lands. These aren't on our globe, on our current maps. This is crazy. This is center Earth. Love our flat Earth map or what? Because that's a compass, and they're measuring the sun on a flat plane. Oh, look at, you can see there's a Capricorn. Look, and that's a sun. So it's a small local sun, and it's on the Tropic of Capricorn. It's that white line all the way around. There's the sun right there. And in the Tropic of Cancer, the inside one, look, there it is. The crab, well, it's a lobster, but I mean, come on, that's a crab. Look at Tropic of Cancer. So there's the 2 sun paths. Look at this. Winter and summer. And you're looking at what they say is the South Pole, but the South Pole is really a ring all around Earth. And everything is south from the center. North is center. South is away. East and west is a circle. And that's what all these are depicting. These are all measurements. Compass measurements. Compass. The compass even says, come pass. It just served.
Yeah, giant boats and giants. What? I mean, it's depicted. Look at this. This is a bird. It's a giant bird, and it's carrying an elephant. Like, wait a second.
Elephant.
Or a giant elephant, and it's really a giant bird. Okay. And then they got mermaids and mermans. Look at that. It's the Starbucks logo. The mermans and the mermaids. Wow. Like, what's up with that? I think they know something we don't know.
Look at all these maps.
Yeah. It's in Latin. It's in Latin. The same language they use in the courts to brainwash us with legalese linguistics. Foreign imposters here in all black robes.
Let us to where these are.
They won't let us go through these straits, huh? Because that ice wall, you know, it's all ice now.
There's animals and dragons and everything.
There's dragons. See, they've been hiding mermaids and dragons and...
The Flat Earth map dates back over 1,000 years. This map is credited to being created by a Persian astronomer. His name was Al-Biruni, and he lived from 973 AD to 1048 AD. It's the official map of the United Nations and also of the United States Geological Survey. It used to be present in many places before the creation of NASA and the Antarctic Treaty in 1959. Here you see it with Admiral Byrd. This map has been restored by Dmitry from Russia with suggestions of mine, Eddie Alenkar, known by my YouTube channel Flat Earth Banjo. I asked Dmitry to include the Bermuda Triangle and Point Nemo, a place deep in the Pacific Ocean where NASA buries rockets. Then Robert Tozzi, a professional map maker, came along and enhanced the map even more. There are many people now selling this map online, but if you could order it from my online store, I would greatly appreciate it. Visit my store now and order one of the items. I humbly thank you.